Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I have another layout, and here are some of the stuff that I think I'm going to be using. And I took one of those LE tags from a few kits ago, and I took out quite a few dies which I don't end up using, and some Dear Lizzie stickers which I don't use. A lot of times when I put stuff together, it's just so that it's all there and I don't have to necessarily go through my stuff, which I still end up doing a little bit, but I try to have as much stuff as I can that I think I might be using and bringing it there. And then once I decide to go one direction, then a lot of the stuff that I had picked out just doesn't get used. But I mean, you can't put everything on a layout because then it would look a little, kind of messy and all over the place. So that's why you see me taking a lot of stuff and then I end up using parts of it, is because once I decide on a direction, I go with it, and then the rest of the stuff is like, oh well, I'll get to use it on another layout. So I had taken two, I guess, tones of blues. One was more like a blue-gray and this one here was a teal. And I decided that I want to go with the teal. And this, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I did a guest spot on Amanda O'Banion's blog. And by the way, congratulations, Amanda. She just had a little baby girl and everything's fine. So congratulations if you're watching this. Hope everything goes well at home and she sleeps through the night after a week. And so when I did that guest spot, one of the questions was, why do I scrapbook? And I mean, we all do it, we all love it and everything, and we know why we scrapbook. But when I really sat down and thought of it, I thought, this is something I want to leave with my kids, and I'm going to share a little bit about myself here today, and because that's one of the reasons I left it at 25 minutes, so I can, I guess, become transparent with you. When I was 25 years old, I was diagnosed with cancer, and it was Hodgkin's disease, which is a glands. It's in the glands. The cancer's in the glands, which had, at the time, I don't know what the rate is now, a 75% chance of survival. And I had 50% chance that I would never have kids again. Basically, he told me to flip a coin and, because your periods stop when you're on treatments, and I was on severe, because I was on 2B or 3, or that was the stage that I was at. And so it stops, and if it comes back, you can have kids, and if it doesn't, you can't. And so I was really happy I had 2 more kids after my treatments, which the doctor wasn't too happy about. When I finally had my son in 1999, he's like, okay, are you done now? Because you really shouldn't be putting your body through this. But anyway, everything to say that all is well, but that is one of the main reasons why I scrapbook, because I want my kids that if, lo and behold, if something happens to me, that they have something that they can go back. And these videos, yes, I enjoy doing them and stuff, but my husband and I were talking about it a couple weeks ago, and I said, can you imagine, I don't know how many videos I'm going to end up doing, but it's like they can go back and listen to these videos if they want to, you know what I mean? So, and I'm sorry if I'm sounding more, but that's why I think, without even realizing, that's why a lot of us are scrapbooking, because we want to leave that for our kids. So right now they might say, oh yeah, it's cute, yada yada yada, but it'll mean so much more later on. And at this point, I had taken that, I think it's Kezi art paper, the alphabet, and I cut about a 4.5 inch section. And then the chevron paper, it is, I don't know if I cut off the strip or not. Probably. Oh, it's the My Girl paper, and I cut it in 2 strips and put it on either side of the paper. And I'm just trying to figure out what other layers I could put. And then it dawned on me that for someone that had always been using doilies at almost every layout, that I hadn't used them for a bit. So I took out some doilies, and then this card there is actually from Project Life, and I cut it in half. And one of them is just going to be like a decoration embellishment kind of thing, and then the other is where my title is going to sit. And that little moments that's glued down to, I guess I forgot to say, the envelope is one that we had gotten in the kit either last month and month before, and I totally forgot about it. So where I do keep the stuff around, I thought this would be a great page to put it on. And this one is a picture of my daughter at Central Park, and she's just climbing on one of the rocks. And I mean, I'm going to put the date on here somewhere of the date that the picture was taken, but it has nothing to do with this picture, the scrapbook page. What I'm going to do is the name of, or the title of this layout is going to be called Life's Obstacles. So in that envelope, I'm going to leave a letter to my daughter, and I'm sure that she won't see it till much later, but that's okay. That's why we scrapbook. So I'm going to tuck in some journaling in there, and I want it to be private, so that's why it's tucked in. And I'm going to put something to her, something that I want to leave with her. And then I'm going to do one for my son, which I think is going to... I actually have 4 layouts I had to do the voiceover. So, I mean, these layouts are just popping out. And I think it's because 2 of them are one of these messages that I want to leave to my kids. So I have 2 more to do. I want to do one for my oldest daughter and do one for my grandson, and probably do one for my husband too. Not probably. I will do one for my husband too. And I'm going to do these layouts. And like I said, not to be morbid, but just because I did that guest spot last week, it really got me thinking, like, yes, a lot of these pages are cute, and they're going to enjoy them, but I want to leave them something. So this is what I'm going to do. So I used a little bit. I want to use that ribbon that we got in this month's kit. I'm having one hard time using it. So I'm just going to glue it on that piece of journaling. And that journaling is a die cut that I had cut apart at the beginning of the month. And it's from the paper pad from Amy Tangerine. So I'm just going to glue some ribbon. And at first I think I'm going to take that little paper clip or clothespin, I guess. And I'm going to put it with that. But in the end, I end up just gluing it directly on the envelope. Just because in it going, lifting and putting it back in, that clothespin kept falling off. So I just thought I didn't want to deal with that. And then I've been using up those rub-ons from Amy Tangerine really good too. And I have a ton of rub-ons, so it just kind of, once I'm through these, I'm going to go through my stash and make sure that I take, a few out and have it at my disposal so I can use more. I mean, we have the stuff, let's use it, right? So now I'm looking for some ink, and I'm going to decide on Tide Pool. That's probably my most used ink, and maybe it's because in the last few months there has been a lot of teal colors in the kit. And I mean, I'm not complaining because it's one of my favorite colors. And I don't scrapbook in order. So these pages are just throughout all my albums. So it doesn't matter. It's not as if I'm going to have an album that's going to be all teal. So I took out a bunch, I think 6 probably for 6 layouts that are of our New York trip, because I hadn't done a few pages in a bit. So I'm going to do those, and then I'm going to go and take out some, then next I'll do some pictures of my grandson, and then I'll do some pictures of my daughter's nationals, which I just went to in May. So I should really try to go a little further back, but as long as I'm getting stuff in the albums, I'm not gonna worry about it. So this washi tape here is from this month's kit. It was in Dear Lizzie, American Craft, and it came with another washi. And I can see that I'm going to be using that washi a lot. Like, I love the color of it. And I thought maybe with that Hello Life, that's a Technique Tuesday stamp, and I have the dies from My Favorite Things that fit. It's a label one, and it fits perfectly, but it would have been too many layers, so I just said, oh no, forget about it, I'll just use it some other time. And I believe at this point either my son got home from school, and I always, not always, but most of the time, I go to the door and greet him and give him a hug, and I don't bother stopping the recording, because I'll tell you what happens when I upload the stuff to iMovie. Whether it's 30 minutes or 55 minutes or an hour, it seems to take 2 or 3 hours. So if I keep stopping the recording and I have like 3 of them to upload, it takes forever. So if I know I'm just going to walk away for a couple minutes, that's the reason I don't stop it. And hopefully it's not too much of a pain that, it kind of goes blank for a few minutes. But that's the reason. It's just because it's just to make it easier on the other end, I guess, when I try to upload it to iMovie. So now I just wanted to frame my layout. So I took this from Mercy Tierra, Tracy, and I'm just outlining everything. And it just kind of frames it. Just kind of frames the whole layout. So now I'm going to start gluing everything down. At one point, I just have to say, okay, enough moving around. It really needs to start going together. I was working on a layout earlier today, and it was the same thing. I was just like moving and moving, and I'm like, okay, if you just start gluing down, then you're committed to the page, and then it moves, and then within 10 minutes, it just seemed like I got further in. And that's what I used to do before I started videotaping. Is I used to move stuff around and around and around and around, and it would take me hours and hours and hours, and then I'd walk away and come back. And so that's one of the reasons why I love doing these process videos, is because I'm actually getting to scrapbook more, which I thought it was actually going to slow me down, but it actually is making it faster. So now I'm going to do that rub on that came in the kit from Amy Tangerine, and it's like a little banner flag. And then I'm going to look in my stamp sets, and I'm going to find 3 words that I can stamp. And one of them didn't, no matter how much I rubbed, the rub on, it did not want to come off. So I just took a pen and just finished it in. So that came from that Amy Tangerine stamp set. Let me see if I still have it out. No, I don't have it out. And it has 3, well, it probably has more than 3, but I chose 3 of the little words, and it says love life today. And that's a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about too, is just, love the little moments and live, life for today, and worry less about tomorrow, and just be happy with today, and probably a whole lot more. But that, that's how I'm going to start. So I'm going to use that tape, and at first I kind of put it it was kind of at the top and the bottom of the photo, and I didn't like that, so I moved it over. And then I thought I was going to put a flag there, but it was just too big. So I decided to just put the washi tape, and it says remember today. And I'm probably grabbing, no, I thought I was grabbing my huge foam tape roll, but that'll come in a little bit. And I'm going to end up moving that little potty girl to the bottom of where my title is going to go. And I'm going to take out some of those little birds again. I just love those little tweets. They just, I don't know, they just finish a page. They're just so cute. And I guess I forgot to mention, this is layout 35 of 50, so 15 to go. And this layout took me an hour and 35 minutes, and it's layout number 9 for the March kit. So going at this rate, I should be done with this kit by the 10th of May, and I'm hoping, I want to do at least 20 pages. If I get 20 pages done, I'll be happy, but I'm going to scrapbook with this kit till the 10th. So if I reach 20 pages before then, I'm going to keep scrapping with it until the 10th. And then I didn't have an apostrophe. It just didn't come in that thicker, so there was a little plus sign, so I cut it so it looked like a little apostrophe so I could do my title. And then those are basic gray white stickers, and I think I have about 5 or 6 of those packages, and the reason that I do is because I can color them whatever color I want. So I put it on one of those sheets, heat resistant sheets, and it's totally messy. I've used that so much, and my battery had died at that point, so it gave time for those letters to dry. And then while I was waiting for the battery to charge up again, I thought, you know what? I haven't used my sewing machine in a bit, so I should really take that out. So I just used the thread that was in it. It was just white thread. And I did buy a couple of threads last week because I bought the sewing machine. I want to be able to use it. And I don't really have a bunch of threads. I think I bought just 2, a gold and a yellow. No, that's not true. A gold and a silver. The gold is kind of yellow. Gold and a silver. And I think I have maybe a couple colors here. So I'm going to play with, I'm not the best, sewer in the world, but I want to use my sewing machine a whole lot more. So I'm going to play with, rethreading it. And I also bought, the reason I went was so that I could buy those little bobbin. Well, I needed more bobbin for the bottom because there's no way I'm doing those myself. And then I wanted some of those needle threaders. That's what it's called, because every time my needle runs out, I can't get it threaded again. So I went and got some of those, and then I bought 2 threads. And at this point I decided to take out my big giant foam tape, and I'm going to put some in behind Hello Life. And I also took out some twine, and it's going to be red twine, and it was just because that envelope had some little red flowers in it, so I wanted red somewhere else. So I'm going to put the twine in 3 different spots, and now I'm going to glue down my little potty girl. And I'm hoping that my new tripod is going to come in the next, it'll probably be 3 weeks. Everything that comes to Canada takes 3 weeks, but at least I know it's on its way. It said when I bought it on eBay, it said that it should be here within 5 days, but I find that hard to believe. It's coming from all the way from Israel, so I can't see that it's going to be here in 5 days, but we will see. So I used my American Craft dot adhesive, and it's called This to That. And then I'm going to use my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive to glue down my wood veneers. And then now I'm going to work on my title. And I'm really looking forward to having that tripod because of cases like this. I think I'm going to probably forget to move up the page for some. Well, I have to move my tripod right now every time that I do a page. Like every time I'm done, I have to move it so that I can clean up my area because I'm actually scrapbooking sideways, which makes it really difficult to see if I'm in frame all the time or not. So it's going to make life so much easier when it's going to be totally over top because I bought one of those, it's called Manfrotto 190X Probe, and I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait for it to come in. It's going to make it more enjoyable for you guys too, because then cases like this where I forget to pull up the page, shouldn't be happening because it'll be the view from above. So I'm hoping that won't happen anymore. So now I'm going to use my memory keeper pokey tool. I'm not really sure what the name is. And then I'm going to use my needle and thread, and I'm going to thread the buttons. And I love buttons. I seem to be using them a lot on my layouts. And these buttons are from Stampin' Up, and they were free with it was the celebration that happens in, I think it's January, February, and March now. It used to be only 2 months, but I think now it's 3 months. And I'd gotten those with some ribbon. And then I usually put some washi tape in behind where the threads are for the sewing and for the buttons, just so it doesn't come undone. And now I go through some enamel dots, and I'm going to put some at every cluster. And then I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. This page was actually done, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. Oh, I decided that I want to do a bit of stamping. I'm trying to do more stamping on my pages. I don't know if you've noticed. I have a gazillion stamps. Maybe not a gazillion, but I have a lot of stamps. Like I said, I used to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so I used to buy, Stampin' Up! Stamps like it was going out of style. So I have tons of those and then a whole lot more. So I want to use them on my page. So this stamp here is from Studio Calico, and I think it was an exclusive to 2 Peas in a Bucket, if I remember correctly. So it has a nice arrowhead stamp, and it looks a lot like the one we got last month in the kit, but it's much bigger. So I'm going to stamp it at the bottom right and the top left of the layout. And it just kind of, ties it in, just kind of frames the page again. And I'm looking for more stuff that I could use to stamp, but I don't believe that I stamp anything else. So now I'm getting my trusty Studio Calico box, and it looks like I'm going to use 2 of my Glimmer Glaze, and those are from Tattered Angels. And I know I mentioned these earlier on in my first videos, but they're really, really shiny. And you know how Mr. Huey does not dry on anything that is glossy? The Glimmer Glaze does. It can be a slick surface, so it's almost like a slick writer. It dries on washi tape, it dries on slick surfaces, everything, and it almost has like a little bubble, like it doesn't absorb in the paper whatsoever, and it just sits on top of the paper, and it's a nice shine. Up close, like in real life, it's really pretty. So I don't know if you've ever tried Glimmer Glaze, but if you have a chance, I would try it out. I'm sure you're going to love it. So here are a few still pictures of my layout. And again, I upload at 2Ps and Studio Calico and username Nicole Jones 911. Thanks for watching. Bye.